Frank Rodriguez thought he had found love when he married Angelina, but just 5 months later, he was dead. What seemed like a tragic and sudden loss was, in reality, a carefully crafted plan fueled by greed, a life insurance policy worth $250,000 and a wife willing to do anything to cash in. This is the chilling case of Angelina Rodriguez, the marriage and insurance policy. In April 2000, Angelina, 32, married Jose Francisco Rodriguez, 41, and soon after, Frank began teaching math in Montebello. Just 5 months later, in September 2000, Frank's life was tragically cut short. Seemingly a typical newlywed couple, Angelina had secretly taken out a $250,000 life insurance policy on Frank just 3 months into their marriage, already planning his death. The attempts to kill Frank. Angelina's attempts to end Frank's life were not just calculated, they were relentless. She allegedly tried multiple methods, from tampering with his food and drinks to sabotaging their home appliances in ways that could lead to fatal accidents. She even attempted to create conditions that would make his death appear accidental. Friends and family later recalled that he often complained of unexplained illnesses. He was unaware that his own wife was behind his mysterious decline in health. Crime scene investigation. The tragic death of Francisco Rodriguez unfolded on the morning of Saturday, September 9, 2000, when his wife, Angelina, made a frantic call to the Montebello Police Department. She urgently requested their presence at their residence in the 800 block of North Marconi Street, reporting that she had discovered her 41-year-old husband, also known as Frank, lying face down in a pool of blood on the bedroom floor. The responding officer observed no immediate signs of foul play at the scene, despite the presence of small blood spatter. While the blood evidence was insufficient to suggest foul play, an autopsy was deemed necessary to determine the cause of Frank's sudden death. Prior to his death, Francisco had been experiencing vomiting and diarrhea, and his condition had rapidly worsened. Angelina recounted that she had rushed him to the emergency department at Kaiser Hospital in Baldwin Park in a desperate attempt to save him. Angelina told the police that on September 5th, Frank, a special education teacher at Angel Gate Academy, was called back unexpectedly to chaperone a training camp where he met Angelina, a fellow educator and single-mothered a 9-year-old Autumn. They married in April 2000. She explained that Frank's name was left off the staff list due to the last-minute request, but the day proceeded without any issues. While the initial investigation suggested a natural cause of death, subsequent revelations by Angelina uncovered a more sinister reality. She told them that Frank began to feel unwell shortly after returning from Angel Gate, but the illness was not consistent. She begged him not to go, but he was resolute in his decision to return to Angel Gate Academy. This choice would turn out to be the greatest tragedy of his life. A chilling suspicion began to take hold of her. Someone at the academy had poisoned him. She believed the food given to Frank had been intentionally laced with poison.
Somebody in the office and I'm like hungry or thirsty and Gatorade and cookies.
Ever you can tell me who offered him a Gatorade that day?
Somebody in the office.
Somebody in the office.
Okay.
But the poison wasn't the only thing lurking in Frank's past. It was the motive behind it. Angelina accused Chad Holloway, Frank's supervisor at Angel Gate Academy, of poisoning his snacks. She explained that Frank had resigned under controversial circumstances after discovering troubling behavior by Holloway. Her suspicions led to a series of terminations and reassignments at the academy. The board's dismissal of their report greatly affected both the school environment and their personal lives. Angelina worried that Frank's whistleblowing had sparked resentment among his colleagues, a feeling she feared could haunt them in the future. Angelina's suspicions deepened when she described a chilling encounter between Chad and Frank. Angelina recalled a chilling remark made by Chad Holloway directly to Frank, which deepened her suspicions. During her interview with the detectives, she also made an unusual request that caught their attention. Angelina steadfastly upheld her accusation, urging officers to treat Chad Holloway as the prime suspect in Frank's poisoning. As a result of the suspicion, Chad Holloway was questioned by the police. Investigators found that the accusations against Chad Holloway had been thoroughly examined and dismissed as baseless. They realized that even false accusations could have severe consequences, potentially pushing someone to desperate actions, including murder. Chad admitted to seeing Frank appear sick 4 days before his death. Although Angelina continued to accuse Chad, the police had insufficient evidence to arrest him. However, a key development came when Frank's toxicology report revealed lethal levels of ethylene glycol, a toxic substance often found in antifreeze. Angelina hoped the evidence would bring justice, but investigators lacked proof Chad knew Frank would be at Angel Gate Academy, undermining the case for premeditation. As detectives awaited the autopsy results, more concerning details about Angelina's behavior surfaced. Angelina's motives appeared questionable, casting doubt on her true intentions. Days after Frank's death, she reached out to Detective Wilson about the body's status. When informed that the cause of death was still unknown, her response was disturbingly indifferent. She soon began calling the coroner's office frequently for updates. Both sides were keen to determine the cause of death. Investigators positioned Angelina to reveal any hidden details, testing the truth of her statements. Investigators shifted their focus to Frank's family, hoping to gather more information that could shed light on his life and the events leading up to his death. On October 19th, over a month after Frank's death, Angelina called Sergeant Holmes to report a disturbing phone call from an unknown person. Unable to identify the caller or how they got her contact info, Angelina told Sergeant Holmes about the unsettling call, prompting a request for antifreeze poisoning tests. She also mentioned the call came at 8 a.m. As the investigation progressed, the autopsy results confirmed the investigators' worst fears. Oleander poisoning was found in Frank's system. On December 12th, detectives informed Angelina that they would question Chad about the death. While awaiting updates, Angelina received a chilling phone call from Chad. The tables had turned. The police had secretly recorded all of Angelina's conversations with Chad, and now every word she had said was poised to haunt her. Just when detectives feared the investigation was at a standstill, a crucial breakthrough came. A phone call from Angelina. Her unexpected and revealing words brought them closer to the truth than she ever anticipated. Detectives struggled to get a confession from Angelina, so they turned to her friend, Palmyra Gorham, hoping she could shed light on the truth. Palmyra shared a strange conversation she had with Angelina in late July. Palmyra's comments hinted at Angelina's deadly plan. She had unknowingly revealed details of Angelina's affair with her nephew, Lauren Moran's, and Angelina's dissatisfaction with Frank, even joking about killing him for money. Detectives also tested Angelina's knowledge of Frank's whereabouts, prompting her to send anonymous faxes and letters with cryptic messages only the killer could know. With growing evidence, detectives were ready to arrest Angelina. On February 7, 2001, they arrived at her new home to execute the arrest. During their 35-minute conversation, Angelina's carefully built facade of innocence slowly started to fall apart. The tension in the interrogation escalated as the detectives pressed her for information about Frank's death. It quickly became evident that she had unwittingly played a central role in her own downfall.
That points that you poisoned Frank.
I didn't poison my husband. I mean, I am willing to take a lie detector test. I did not poison my husband. My husband was sent to me by God. Yeah, we had financial problems, which caused an emotional kind of craziness about it. But you know what? That's common.
What if I was to tell you that all the information that we've accumulated that we can pretty much prove that you did.
We need the truth. Gotta have the truth, Angelina.
I did not kill my husband.
While she thought she was controlling the situation, she was actually the one under scrutiny, the fool at the heart of the spectacle. After Angelina's arrest, officers searched her home and found key evidence, including a napkin with the sheriff's fax number linked to her anonymous faxes. They also discovered a paper detailing her plans for spending the $250,000 life insurance payout, revealing her sinister intentions. Just hours after Frank's death, Angelina called West Covina Insurance Company at 10:17 a.m., a detail that added to her involvement in the crime. Angelina's plot to murder Palmyra, trial, and sentencing. Ahead of her trial in March 2001, Angelina reached out to Palmyra, trying to intimidate her and convince her to alter her testimony. She warned Palmyra that she could be arrested as an accomplice unless she changed her testimony. Angelina pressured her to fabricate a story about finding her with her boyfriend and lying about the poisoning. When Palmyra refused, Angelina's manipulation grew bolder. In May 2002, while awaiting trial, she plotted to have Palmyra killed, a plan that stunned even experienced investigators. While still incarcerated, Angelina recruited fellow inmate Gwendolyn Hall to murder Palmyra. She gave Hall explicit instructions, including Palmyra's address and the steps she wanted her to follow. Angelina had no idea that Gwendolyn had her own plan, one that would ultimately backfire. While continuing her talks with Angelina, Gwendolyn secretly set a trap, supplying detectives with crucial information to bring her to justice. Gwendolyn outlined her plan to stage the murder in the morning, timing it for when Palmyra would be alone after dropping off her children. Rather than relying on existing evidence, investigators staged a shooting to trap Angelina, setting in motion the final phase of their plan. Rather than relying solely on existing evidence, investigators staged a shooting to trap Angelina, marking the beginning of her downfall. Investigators discovered Angelina's extreme measures to have Palmyra killed, and the case grew darker when her daughter, Autumn, revealed how Angelina forced Frank to drink a bottle of red Gatorade for financial gain. 2 months before his death, Angelina had taken out a $250,000 life insurance policy on Frank, which he had opposed. She reached out to the agent again within 2 months. Angelina's obsession with the insurance payout and the suspicious items pointed to a planned murder. Prosecutors painted a picture of a cold, calculated woman willing to kill for money. Evidence showed that Angelina had staged incidents, researched poisoning methods, and meticulously planned Frank's death. In January 12, 2004, she was convicted of first-degree murder with special circumstances and sentenced to death. The jury took just 2 hours to deliver their verdict: guilty. Angelina showed little emotion as the sentence was read. She was sentenced to death, making her one of the few women on California's death row. Despite attempts to appeal her sentence, Angelina remains on death row. She has maintained her innocence, claiming she was framed, but the evidence against her is overwhelming. Criminal psychologists suggest that cases like hers often involve individuals who feel entitled to wealth without putting in the effort to earn it. Angelina Rodriguez now sits on death row, her fate sealed by her own greed and cruelty. Her story serves as a dark reminder that sometimes the most dangerous people are the ones who claim to love us the most. If you found this case as chilling as we did, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more true crime content. Until next time, stay safe.